Oh hey, I'm Pixie, and I am filming my first booktube video right now, if you can't tell. Anyway, I thought because the year is ending and I've read almost 150 books this year, it would be a great time to start a booktube channel because I have no friends and no one to talk to about the thousands of books that I read, and I figured maybe putting these videos out there will make me friends. But as my first booktube video, I wanted to do a video ranking every series I read this year, and I read 15 series, and I have a lot of opinions, and I read a lot of popular series this year too, and I need someone to talk about them, and I love ranking things. I rank things obsessively. So here's the video. At 15th place is the Dirty Air series. I personally am not a huge Lauren Asher fan. I liked her Love Redesigned series, which I didn't include because it's only like 2 books and I don't really feel that strongly about either of them, so I'm just including the Dirty Air series by her. But while it is last, I did enjoy it and I don't regret reading it, but compared to all of the other book series that I read this year, doesn't even compare. I will say the first 2 I didn't really care for, but I did genuinely like the last 2. Yeah, I don't really have many thoughts and opinions about this series, so moving on. In 14th place, I have a series that I read this month, and that is the Emily Wilde series. I thought these books were so cute. I think I liked the first one more, but this was definitely cute. I think the vibes, the romance, it's just a cute little series. I loved the whimsical vibes, and it felt like this was an actual encyclopedia of fairies. Like, I was learning so much about fairies, which, I mean, hello, my name is Pixie, so I'm going to love anything fairy related. Is that cliche? Maybe, sue me. Anyway, it was different than any other fae related book series that I've read, and I really appreciated it, and highly recommend, but it is 14th on the list, so sorry. Okay, in 13th place is a pretty popular series, I'd say, and I have a lot of opinions about it, but it is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I don't read a ton of mystery, but I really enjoyed these books. I didn't guess who the murderer was any of the times, really, so what else can you ask for? I will say the third one, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about it, but it was my favorite one. I loved the third one. My hand was to my mouth the entire time reading it. Definitely my favorite one. I wasn't obsessed with the romance like I feel a lot of people were, but I definitely enjoyed it. I wasn't obsessed, and that's why it's so low. I don't really think about it that much unless I think about the insanity of the third book, because wow. I don't really have too many thoughts on this. It's a cute young adult mystery, so if you're into that, recommend it. I'm so awkward. Okay, 12th on the list is popular too. Okay, all of these are popular. I need to stop saying popular. Popular? No. Anyway, in 12th place is the Shepherd King duology. Again, I wasn't obsessed with this trilogy. No, duology. I wasn't obsessed, but I thought that the magic system was very unique, at least to me. I just loved the vibes and the mystery element. The romances were solid. I ended up enjoying the characters overall. I don't think I was obsessed. And I have an unpopular opinion, but I think I liked the first one more. I don't know what you want me to say about it, but I definitely think this was my favorite out of the 2. But yeah, highly recommend, especially in the wintertime. Solid winter fantasy vibes. Okay, number 11, the Crescent City series. I read ACOTAR last year and read the other 2 Sarah J. Maas series this year. We'll talk about Throne of Glass later on. But we're talking about Crescent City right now. Hello. I think I gave the first one a 5-star. Yeah, I gave the first one a 5-star. I really liked it, and I watched so many videos beforehand because I knew I was going to be confused about the magic system, and watching those videos helped so much because I wasn't confused. So that wasn't a problem for me, and I don't know why, but the romance in this one, I was gagged. Bryce and Hunt were just so realistic to me. Like, they really just found each other and fell in love, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was just genuine, and like, I don't know, I liked them, okay? In the first book at least. And I really liked the characters in this one too, and just the whole vibes of the first book I really enjoyed. It did go downhill in the second and third book. I just think there's too much going on, and the characters went downhill, the romance went downhill. There was just so much going on, and I might not even read the next one, if there is going to be a next one. I don't know. We'll see. I have conflicting feelings about this series because I really did like the first one, and the second and third one were just, to me at least, but it's popular for a reason. So if you liked Sarah J Maas's other series, I'd recommend. But okay, top 10. Whoa. Oh, I just spoiled it. You didn't see that. Number 10. Number 10 is the Dance of Thieves duology. I read Dance of Thieves last year and started the second one and never finished it. But this year I completed it and it was just so good. It's hard to find a genuine enemies to lovers, but I think this is like probably, I mean, other than Throne of Glass, this is the closest I've ever gotten to like a true enemies to lovers. And I also wasn't super confused by the magic system, which I am literally an idiot when it comes to that stuff, and I understood it pretty well. Here's what really got me to like this series is that I really liked the characters. Like, I was rooting for all of them. I loved the found family aspect. The writing was good. I liked our main character. The romance was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed and would definitely recommend. And plus it's a duology. It's so short. It's so easy. Highly recommend. Okay. I'm a little embarrassed about the 9th spot. It's the Vancouver Storm series. It's a series of hockey romances, and I don't know what you want me to say. I giggled in all 3 of them at one point. The fake out, the fake dating, it was so good. I so enjoyed, and I read them all in a day. It was just, I just had a really good time reading them, and I don't know what more you want me to say about it. Like, it was just good. Of course, it's not going to be anything special, but as far as a hockey series goes, this was one of the best, and I read a lot, too much in fact, of hockey romances this year. And these ones, they did it for me, okay? The fake out was definitely my favorite though, and I will be reading the future books in the series. Okay, 8th is the Natural series. Like I said, I don't read a lot of mystery, but when I do, it tends to be young adult because I don't know why actually. Anyway. I thoroughly enjoyed. I've heard so many people compare it to Criminal Minds, and I definitely think it's true. It's the young adult version of that show. The found family was really good, and I really liked our main character too. I feel like Cassie was a solid one, and the mystery that went into all of the books, like each book has their own mystery that you're trying to figure out, but there's like one mystery plot that bleeds into all of the books, and that was really interesting. Really enjoyed that. And in case you were wondering, I am a Dean girl. Hello. Sorry, Michael, but I'm Team Dean, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. But my favorite character was Sloane. I love her so much. She was so sweet. And the way that literally every character wanted to protect her, I miss her. And I would highly recommend the series if you're into young adult fantasy. No, mystery. Watch me never film another booktube video again. Anyway, loved this series. Okay, in 7th place is another sports romance series, the Windy City series. It's so good. It's so popular for a reason. I loved this series. Mile High, not included though. That book was too long, too whack, and I can't think of a third thing. Whatever. When I talk about this series, I don't really include Mile High. Sorry if you like it. It just wasn't for me. But oh my god, The Right Move? No. So good. Caught Up was my favorite, personally. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it. It was just so good. I giggled. I swooned. The found family in Caught Up, too. Ugh. And then Play Along. So good. Yeah, I highly enjoyed this series, and it will probably forever be one of my favorite sports romance series. And I can't wait for the next one. I've been wanting Rio's book for so long, and we finally are getting it. Thank you, Liz Tomford. Okay, number 6 is a series I only started because my cousin wouldn't shut up about it, and I made her read the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles series, so I figured it was only fair to read the Outlander series. Look, it's painful. It's so painful, but it is so good. I love the characters. The plot is so interesting, and Jamie Fraser is a top-tier book boyfriend. Oh my god. Yeah, but shout out to Fergus and Ian. My boys love them. This series is just so fun. The writing is great. I loved the audiobooks. I followed along with the audiobooks while I was reading, and it was just such a good time. I just love this series, and I'm so glad that I read it. Claire and Jamie for life. Okay, top 5. I am literally so excited to talk about my top 5. Ugh. At 5, we have, you already know, the Chestnut Springs series. I was so not expecting to love these books as much as I did, and I genuinely think I giggled the most in this series than anything I read this year. Like, these books were so swoon-worthy, and the men, the found family, the friendships, no. I love this series with my whole heart. It was so good. I think about them all the time. I want to reread them. I will say my favorite was Heartless, I think. Cade? Oh my god, top tier. Ew. No. This was also the first cowboy romance series I ever read. I was so obsessed. Highly recommend. It is so good in every way. And I think about these characters and these couples and the found family too much. Love you guys. Anyway. I can't even talk about number 4. This was the most surprising series. Oh my god. The Magnolia Parks series. The rest are over here. They're really heavy, so I didn't want to get all of them. So I'm holding up my favorite one. Hello. This book destroyed me because, look, BJ and Magnolia are freaking annoying, okay? Yes. And they're toxic. Yes. But there's no one else in the world that will love them more than they love each other. There's just no one else for them. And I really got that in this book specifically, too. I was not a BJ fan. And then I read this and was suddenly rooting for the guy. But here's the thing. The reason the series is top tier for me is because of Julian Hates. Because I've heard so much of BJ and Magnolia, rightfully so, okay? But who was gonna tell me about Magnolia and Julian? Because they ripped my heart out and threw it against the wall and stomped on it, and I will never recover from them. Are you kidding? I genuinely think they could be, oh my god, this is insane. This is insane to say. They could be in my top 5 favorite book couples of all time. Julian and Magnolia. Girl, what? This is insane. What can I say? I love them. And it's not really them. It's the way that they are written. The writing of this series is genuinely so beautiful, and the metaphors that Jessa Hastings comes up with, what the hell? How? It's unreal. I don't know. I was obsessed. It's literally Gossip Girl in book form. And I ate it up, and what about it? The tea was piping hot in every book. But yeah, this book made me cry, made me giggle uncontrollably. Thank you, Julian Hates, for that. And I genuinely was just so pleasantly surprised by the writing, and I didn't expect to love this series as much as I do. It still shocks me. I would give it a try. I would at least make it to this book, if anything. It's painful in the best possible way. Moving on. Technically, my 3rd series is a interconnected standalone series, but I can't not include it. They're some of my favorite books that I've read all year. The Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. Don't even get me started on Abby Jimenez. She is quite possibly my favorite, I would say, like, rom-com author. Like, she writes the perfect rom-coms. I don't even understand it. Like, her writing, her characters, the way she writes about love, her humor, everything about her is just perfect. Part of Your World was so fun for me. It's my least favorite in the trilogy, but it was so fun and so good and so sweet, and I loved it. I would say Yours Truly is probably my 2nd, but 5 stars. I'm obsessed with everything about this couple, the fake dating, the letter aspect. Please, it was so good. But this one, not only is this series in the top 5 series I read this year, but this is probably in the top 5 books that I read this year. Utter perfection. The way she wrote about romance is so realistic and beautiful. It's just such a good representation of true love in the real world. There wasn't any crazy grand gestures. This is literally just about the small things that you can do for the person you love, and it was just so good. I would highly recommend all 3 of these books. Any Abby Jimenez book. I love these so much. I might cry talking about the 2nd place series. Dude. I will cry just thinking about Benji Ovich. Frederick Bachman is one of my favorite authors, but I think probably my favorite writer of all time. I love the way that he writes characters, and his storytelling is just so beautiful. He writes women perfectly, men perfectly. Parents, children, friends, romance. He just writes everything perfectly, and this trilogy, I genuinely don't think I have cried harder than reading the third book in this trilogy. I cried every book, and these characters feel real to me, and I will never forget reading this trilogy for the first time. I'm going to reread it every year. I can't wait to go back and annotate because just Benji. I love him with my whole heart. There are so many freaking characters, and there's not a main character, but Benji is the main character to me. He's everything. He's such a well-written character. I love him, and him and Maya's friendship, I have sobbed about it multiple times. Yeah, go read it. Now, immediately, go read it, yes. Okay, y'all. My favorite series that I read in the year of 2024. I'm not holding the whole series up. Do you see how long it is? How heavy those books are? I'm literally just a girl. I can't hold all of those. But Throne of Glass is my favorite series that I read this year. One of my favorite series of all time. I am holding up Air of Fire because it is my favorite in the series personally. I don't think a last line of a book affected me the way the last line of this book did. I literally paced the room ready to go to war when I finished this book. Selena Sardathian. There's no one else like her. When I first finished the series, I think I had more underwhelming feelings towards the series initially. I was kind of like, okay, really, really good, but I had a few problems. With time, I read this in January. It's December now, and I think I genuinely have loved this series more and more with every day. I cry watching TikToks about it. I think about it all the time. There's just nothing else like it. It's just so good. I genuinely love all of the characters, all of the romances, the friendships. No, the plot too. I can't even talk about it. I can't even talk about it because I love it so much. I, in fact, have already started a reread because I can't control myself, and I'm also annotating them as I go. I will never recover. I do not want to recover. I'm so glad that I finally read it this year. It's been on my radar for literal years. Like, since I was 14, I've wanted to read the series, but I just thought I was too stupid to understand the fantasy element. But then I turned 18 and was like, I'm an adult. I can do it now. Anyway, I finally did it and I don't regret it. It will rip your heart out and put it back together and rip it out again and then put it back together and just that, like, over and over and over again. And then you're back together, partly, sort of. Whatever. It's all gonna be fine. I'm literally sweating, like, thinking about... Anyway, I need to shut up now. Okay, that was all of the series I read in 2024 and my ranking of it, and I hope you liked this video if anyone watches it. But yeah, literally I have no life. I just read books and have no one to really talk to about them. And I hope to make more videos about the 150 books I read this year. If you're interested in hearing about it, thanks for watching. Bye! It is embarrassing how weak my arms are. Okay, bye.